From federal investigators now that a suspect is in custody nearly 5 years after surveillance footage showed someone planting pipe bombs near Democrat and Republican Party headquarters in D.C. 30-year-old Brian Cole Jr. of Woodbridge, Virginia, arrested earlier today.
While being careful not to compromise the ongoing investigation, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi said examining an abundance of evidence led to Cole, who even after nearly 5 years was close by.
This defendant was living just miles away from here in Virginia.
Cole's charges include transporting an explosive device in interstate commerce and attempted malicious destruction using explosive materials. More charges may follow.
Fox's Gernal Scott, the bombs did not explode. They were found on the day of the Capitol riot in 2021 and planted the night before. Protesters demanding ice-free zones in New Orleans now that a federal immigration enforcement operation is underway.
New Orleans City Council attempted to hold their public meeting this afternoon. That was disrupted by protesters who interrupted and shouted until ultimately they forced the council members to cancel the open comment period of the public meeting. One protester was carried out.
Shame on you! He's a peaceful protester! Shame! You know it's shameful!
This comes a day after Border Patrol agents from the highly visible El Centro sector showed up in New Orleans. They started in a Home Depot parking lot looking to pick up illegals searching for day labor, and agents ultimately transitioned to a foot patrol through the French Quarter.
Fox's Mike Tobin. President Trump says he's confident two African leaders will move forward with a peace deal signed today in Washington.
Today we commit to stopping decades of violence and bloodshed and to begin a new era of harmony and cooperation between the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Rwanda.
Though flare-ups of fighting continue, the president says the agreement sets up a framework for economic cooperation. The Dow down 31. America's listening to Fox News.
This is the time of the year most of us are checking off our holiday gift list. Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on that list. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every single second and alerts you to the threats you could miss yourself. If your identity is stolen, your own U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to work to fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Make this season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% off your first year at LifeLock.com with the promo code BECK. Terms apply.
Picture this. You're on a date, and then bad breath happens. Confidence gone. Here's the truth. Most gums and mints are just bad breath Band-Aids, but not Zellman's Minty Mouth. The functional breath freshener you swallow. Tiny dual-action capsules with mint on the outside, parsley seed oil inside, clinically tested to fight the toughest offenders, even garlic and onions. It's only available online. Go to Zellmans.com, Z-E-L-M-I-N-S, Zellmans.com, code FRESH for 15% off.
Manslaughter charges in Utah stemming from a deadly shooting during a No Kings protest this summer.
Prosecutors in Salt Lake City charging Matthew Alder, who was serving as a peacekeeper during an anti-MAGA No Kings rally in June, when he started shooting at a man who was openly carrying a firearm. He says he shot because he feared a mass shooting, though Alder ended up killing another man, Alu.
To us, that is reckless conduct. And that is what we're charging.
Salt Lake County Attorney Sim Gill saying the other armed man never fired his weapon and has a legal right to carry under Utah law. Alder faces up to 15 years in prison if convicted. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
A Trump tariff on kitchen cabinet imports set to rise to 50% next month, but it has a lot of support in one Alabama town where most people work at a cabinet plant.
Officials here say that Trump tariff could save not just the factory, but the town itself. Now, critics say that tariff could add several $1,000s a year to new houses, but that argument doesn't carry much weight here, where the Trump tariff has already created 400 new jobs. Those jobs pay, on the average, about $60,000 a year.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Ashland, Alabama. Recapping a mixed finish on Wall Street after another snapshot of the economy ahead of next week's Fed meeting.
Consulting firm Challenger Gray & Christmas tracking 71,000 plus layoff announcements in November, a step down from massive cuts announced in October, but still enough for this year's total to top 1.1 million, the most since 2020 when COVID hit. Telecom, tech, food, services, and retail companies leading the cuts.
Fox's Lillian Wu. Meantime, applications for unemployment benefits falling last week to their lowest level in more than 3 years, which could complicate a rate cut decision from the Fed. Again, the Dow dropping about 31 points, but the S&P and the NASDAQ finish in the green. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
The Drive with Curtis Allen and Evan Stone on ESPN 93.5. I won the text line 11-5.
Okay. 11-5. You.
Okay. You won Instagram 13-10.
First one was 11-5.
11-5.
What makes math so difficult? Like, why is it so hard?
And then on X, this is where we're running into a problem here.
Uh-oh.
You're in a dark place.
It is 51 votes, and it just says 51% to 49%. So what's 51% of 51?
So it's like 26-25 is what it is.
So who won?
Hold on.
He started to worry that he wasn't smart enough to solve math problems.
I'm pretty good at math, 35, 45. You got 46 votes.
Do you like apples?
And I got 26, 36, 39, 44.
So I won?
How do you like them apples?
Son of a biscuit eater.
Yeah, it's because of the text line!
Son of a biscuit eater.
Let's go text line, people!
Beat me by 2.
It's not your fault.
Woo!
Burger flipping votes. I can't
Where
believe
everybody knows your name.
No! I can't believe this.
Where everybody knows your name.
The pain I felt, sir.
You know it.
I gotta tip my cap to you, though. I mean, as far as I know, you won fair and square.
Listen,
as far as I know,
I don't cheat.
ESPN Radio 93.5. It is The Drive. I'm Curtis Allen. That is Evan Stone. Yesterday, Evan with a 2-vote victory over me in our sitcom draft, and I didn't expect to feel this sort of agony over this one. I thought losing the scary movie draft was going to be bad, but I
think that's your worst loss.
Thank you.
The scary movie.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
you brought it up.
Yeah, thank you for that.
That's just your worst loss. You should have won that one easy.
That's your worst loss.
You were 2 in.
Well, so maybe
2 in.
Yeah, maybe I was 2 in. Though, who had a really great day yesterday?
Who's that?
That would be Fighting Illini head coach Brett Bielema.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good, Evan Stone, as he lands the number 21 recruitment class in the country. And the accolades just keep piling up as well for the current Illini team as well.
Yep.
With plenty of Big Ten honors. So we'll get into some of that in just a few with the Illini headlines. But want to just circle back to yesterday and get your thoughts one more time on National Signing Day and how things went for the Illini.
Well, I mean, we said this a lot yesterday, but great day, great class. Excited to see this class come to fruition. But once again, it's about stacking the classes. So this is a great class, but what gives you the most hope and the most excitement with this class is the fact that I really do believe we have a coach that is able to build upon this. You see every year his classes have gotten better and more well-rounded and this, that, or the other, but I'm excited to see what he does next. I'm excited to see now that he knows he's got this prep class locked in. Now, what do we go and do with the transfer portal?
There you go.
We've got the prep class and the JUCOs that are now filling spots, filling holes. And so now when you step into transfer portal season, you know exactly what you need, what you want, and you can go get it.
And it never stops, right? It
no.
never, ever ends. Anybody that thinks, football season's over, that's when Bielema can rest. No. Or any coach for that matter. He's going to be knee deep in the portal and more recruitment. So a busy time of the year.
Forehead deep.
There you go.
All the way.
He's a pretty tall man too. You know, he's got a good sized forehead as well. He's got a strong forehead. Bielema's got a power forehead.
He mentioned that after their game on Saturday, he was like, "I'm gonna, get a little bit of time. I'm gonna sleep in tomorrow with my girls." And you're thinking like that's probably the one day of the year that dude is relaxing, because it feels like it's nonstop.
He's got young kiddos like you and I, so like what is sleeping in?
Oh
yeah, like what's that? You get to 7 a.m. That's when is that what you're sleeping?
Maybe I do. I feel like my kids have hit that kind of age where it's like, you know what, you guys can survive for an extra hour on your own. Don't leave me alone.
Go stare at a tablet.
Go do something.
Don't do that. Don't. Well, maybe a little bit.
It is what they do. Yeah.
It is what it is. A handful of things, though. I don't want to get off on a side tangent, but I maybe we talk about this later. Did you see anything involving Penn State yesterday in National Signing Day? Did you see any of that?
I mean, I saw that they signed, 2 kids?
They had the worst class out of anybody in the country, certainly in the Big Ten, last in the Big Ten. And just the presser was chef's kiss bad, like uncomfortable. Like, it's one of those things.
Who did the presser?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
Just the janitor they hopped up there?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I'm trying to think of a famous Penn State alum that they could have had up there. Some random actor they could have brought back. Like
nobody would have done it.
Like who's their Nick Offerman that they could have had show up?
Keegan-Michael Key is the
Keegan-Michael Key,
guy,
there you go, yeah.
But he was famous for impersonating James Franklin, so that might not have worked out super well. It's a mess over there,
it's
man.
Such a mess.
I don't know what they're doing, and at this point, you got to just kind of roll with the interim guy. I think. I don't know.
Well,
Brian Dabble.
Brian Dabble might be the guy. We'll see. But I wanted to make sure I mentioned that to you and give you a chance throughout the show to maybe, like when we get to a break or something, check that out and just
okay. I'm on it.
It's a thing. We've got a loaded lineup today covering Illini, covering Bears, Packers, and all things in between. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we're going to talk with Zach Pearson from Bear Report. He does a fantastic job covering the Bears. We'll talk with him about Bears, Packers this Sunday, which is now a late afternoon game. And that one in Green Bay, where I think the Arctic temperatures are going to be somewhere around 1,000 below zero, something like that when they play. It's cold right now. It's awful cold, but you can only imagine what it's going to be like in Green Bay this weekend. We're going to talk with Zach Pearson from Bear Report, who, hey, by the way, those Chicago Bears seem to be getting a little healthier as each day gets closer to Packers game day.
Yeah?
And you can catch that game on our sister station, Q96. Also, our guy Robert Rosenthal, a Lion Eye on the socials. Robert Rosenthal is going to join us after 4 o'clock. We'll talk with him about everything from recruitment day to Illini basketball this weekend. The Illini men taking on Tennessee in Nashville. What's the name for it? The Nashville Music Showdown, or there's a nickname for this game that I am missing.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Nashville Classic is probably what it is.
You know who doesn't care? Underwood. He does not care the name of the game. He just wants to
put
go
us
play
on the court.
We'll talk with Rosenthal about that one. And speaking of that particular game, we'll talk with Ben McKee, who covers the Vols for 24/7. We'll get sort of the Tennessee perspective on things, Evan. And then, if you're ready for it, a little bit later on, it's been a minute since we've done an Etched in Stone. You ready to crack open your wallet and do some Etched in Stone today, buddy?
Let's do it. And just so you know, it is called the Music City Madness.
The Music City Madness. That's
presented
what it is.
by Charity Water.
I hope it's delicious. We're going to see cases of Charity Water all over.
Charity Water.
Charity Water.
Awful name.
Could be delicious.
Yeah, what a good day. Big Def says, I love the ongoing tennis match and back and forth that is your draft leaderboard. The parody is incredible. It is.
High stakes stuff, Big Def.
Yeah, and Scott and Terre Haute said it's not fair unless we can both see the text line because the social numbers wasn't close, which is not true. It was close. And we can both see the text line. So Curtis can very well go back and real votes online, it wasn't close. It was. Instagram was 13-10, and X was 51 to 49%. So it was close. And then I
have to go back and look. I think I'm with Scott and Terre Haute. The more I think about this,
oh my god,
24 hours later, the more I feel like there was some chicanery. More of the chicanery.
Scott and Terre Haute is just on your side because that's your people.
Good.
I can't get my people on my side,
what
though.
Are you talking
Camargo's
about?
Back and forth.
Yeah.
We're hot and cold.
Who was it? Maggie? Was that who it was?
Mary.
I'm sorry,
and
Mary.
John
Yeah,
and Camargo. Both are Camargo people.
Mm-hmm.
So he also said, this is where he gets back to me, though. IU basketball sucks. Dang right they did, is they dropped one last night.
Uh-huh. Not great. We have to talk with our guy, Nick Rodecap, who talked with us before the Illinois-Indiana football game this year.
Yeah.
What's going on with Indiana hoops at some point in time soon.
Yeah, Indiana hoops drops one last night to Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And Minnesota is not a good team.
So, again, a pretty full lineup today. Zach Pearson on the way in about 10 minutes to talk Bears, Packers. Our guy Robert Rosenthal will talk all things Illini with us. Ben McKee from 24/7 Sports will join us to talk about the Music City Madness. Is that the name of it?
Music City Madness, presented by Charity Water.
The MCM, the Charity Water MCM is what I'm going to call it. And we'll talk with Ben McKee. And then since Evan is just riding high, he's winning, Lady Luck is on his side, he's going to open up that wallet and we'll do Etched in Stone.
Beautiful.
Big football game tonight as well, Thursday night, man. A couple of teams that have some playoff aspirations, but it kind of make or break for them starting tonight. And look at the rest of their schedule. We're talking Lions, Cowboys tonight.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know what to do with that game.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Dallas has turned it on a little bit.
They sure have.
Especially offensively. I don't know what the Lions do against George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. I don't know how they guard that. And Detroit is, I mean, they're still a really good football team, but I just don't know if they're dropping games they shouldn't.
What do you think?
So I don't know what they're doing over there.
What do you think is missing from those Detroit Lions? You know, what do you think's wrong there?
Well, they also have had a little bit of injuries, but mainly I think it's probably the lack of an offensive coordinator in mind.
I just wanted to play that just for fun, just because I can.
Yeah, it's in Detroit tonight, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so this is a huge, even for Bears fans, this is a big game.
It's gonna set the tone for both divisions, the NFC North and the NFC East, for the last month of the regular season. So fascinating stuff. If you are a Bears or Packers fan, whatever, or if you're a Lions fan, you're definitely right. If you're a Lions fan, you're gonna watch. The four of you in Central Illinois, I know. But I'm just saying, if you're a Bears-Packers fan, you're going to be tuning in tonight with a close eye on this one. Cowboys fans, I know they're fired up. I've been talking to some Cowboys fans in the area. They feel like they're turning a corner. The Eagles are vulnerable. They got exposed by the Bears. It's Jerry's world, all right, and the rest of us are just living in it. Before we get into any more NFL, though, let's do some Illini headlines, because there was a lot of Illini business yesterday. And we talked all day yesterday was our recruitment show. Today, a recap of some of the accolades for the 2025 football season. Illini football's Gabe Ackus named the All-Big Ten first team. He led the Big Ten with 11 sacks, second all-time in Illini history with 22. And the defense also had 7 players received all Big Ten honorable mentions. Tomowa Durage, I know you can say his name way better than I can, Evan. Juice Clark, James Thompson, Dylan Rosiak, Miles Scott, Matthew Bailey, and Torrey Cox Jr. also on the list. On offense, OT J.C. Davis, first team All Big Ten accolades as well. Hank Beatty was on the third team for coaches and media. Offensive guard Josh Geske got an honorable mention, and so did quarterback Luke Altmaier. Beatty, David Alano, and Lane Hansen received honorable mentions for the All Big Ten special teams. And switching gears, Illini women's basketball, their home opener this Saturday against Indiana. We were just talking a little bit about the Indiana Hoosiers. 11 a.m. State Farm Center. Shauna Greet squad coming off a 90-41 win over Bellarmine. I still don't know where that is. Didn't you tell me? Isn't that out east?
No, I don't know.
You told me that the other day on the show. Now
we were not talking about Bellarmine. We were talking about Canisius, and we were talking about Lemoyne.
Lemoyne, that was it. Okay.
Yeah.
Who cares?
It really starts now for women's basketball, because they've had a couple games the last week or so that have just been not good opponents.
Yeah.
But here comes Indiana.
Here it comes. And let me throw one more out there to you, an Illini headline that I know you are pumped about. Illini Wrestling heads to Edwardsville this Sunday morning for the Cougar Clash, baby.
Here we go.
Matches start at 10 a.m. at the First Community Arena. Lucas Bird and Cannon Webster remain undefeated for the Illini at 7-0. And those are your Illini headlines, sir.
Woo!
What you gonna do, brother?
Nothing.
What you gonna do?
So, yeah, it's good. Oh, Diane just texted in. Bellarmine's in Louisville.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Well, she partied there back in the day, I'm sure.
I don't. If you would have given me 4 states, that's not very many. If you would have given me 10 states to guess from, I would not have guessed Bellarmine was in Kentucky.
That's not very many.
So,
a bit outside.
yeah,
Not very many.
This is exciting because we are getting into figuring out where we're going to go for a bowl game. But, man, basketball season's really getting into full swing. We're going to start. You look at Illinois the next week or so. You got Tennessee, Ohio State. You got some big games coming up that are going to be really important for you.
And we've got plenty of guests joining us over the next several days to break it all down.
Yeah.
Sneak peek for Monday. I've mentioned this a couple of times. The one, the only. I think he's out of finals. The great Kyle Tosk will be joining us on Monday from Illini Inquirer to talk.
They'll
Illini
still have
hoops.
finals next week.
He said, no, I don't want, never mind. I'm going to be quiet because there could be a professor listening to be like cracking his knuckles and say,
wait a second.
What did that Tosk kid say? What did Tosk say?
He said, none of my classes are important. I don't need to go to any of these finals.
Little kid thinks he's a superstar, huh? Okay, I got something to say to him. A couple other guests of mention as well for this week. I'm excited about tomorrow's show. I'm excited about today's show. I'm excited about tomorrow's show.
A lot of guests.
Chris Kwasinski from Fox 32 Chicago. He joined us last week to talk Illinois versus Northwestern. We had a blast with him. Chris is going to join us again tomorrow. This time he's going Bears-Packers.
Let's go.
Colleen Kane. I've been talking back and forth with Colleen for a while. She is one of the head writers for the Chicago Tribune. She does a fantastic job. She's an alum. She knows Illini basketball. She's going to join us tomorrow as well at 4:05. And then our guy Carson Gordy at 4:25. Get a little more of the local flair. So all sorts of guests lined up for the next several days. Very, very excited about that. We're busy here, baby. We're busy.
Yes, we are.
It's not like we're just doing drafts for 2 hours every day, you know?
Yeah. And we got Ravi's going to call in tomorrow, too.
And, of course, Ravi Lul. Yeah, Ravi,
we're working on the time.
We've bumped Ravi around a little bit.
Well, we've bumped him. He's bumped us. It's just been that time of year.
He did big league us, and then I did see your
He didn't big league, but I did tell him he was a bum.
You did tell him that. I saw the exchange on Instagram and the DMs. I saw that. I did see that.
So, yeah, a lot of stuff going on, and good shows.
Good shows indeed. All right, we will catch a break. When we come back, we'll talk with Zach Pearson from Bear Report. Get everything we know so far on the table for Bears-Packers this Sunday. It is The Drive. When time matters, proximity counts. Fly Champaign-Urbana and start your trip on schedule. American Airlines connects you through Dallas and Chicago, linking you to business centers across the U.S. and beyond with connections to over 200 destinations. Be efficient. Be connected. Be home sooner. Fly Champaign-Urbana Willard Airport. Local convenience, global reach.
At Freedom Roofing, they stand for quality, integrity, and the American way. Locally owned and built on trust, they take pride in protecting what matters most, your home. Their expert team delivers top-notch craftsmanship with unbeatable customer service because you deserve nothing less. When storms hit or roofs age, call the name that stands for strength. Freedom Roofing, proudly serving our community because your roof should be as strong as the country we call home. Freedom Roofing, built on trust, powered by integrity. Visit freedomchampaign.com.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Hi, this is Chris Vandeventer with Philo Exchange Bank. We defined hometown banking for 14 decades, weaving a legacy of trust and dedication. We believe in the power of a community where every neighbor is a member of our family and not just another name. Unlike many other banks, our lending decisions are made within the walls of the bank. Quite simply, local banking means you get what you need quickly and efficiently.
Philo Exchange Bank, hometown community banking since 1883. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
And that's grounded up the middle. Diving play. Mason Wynn to his feet. He throws. He got him.
Busch Stadium isn't just a ballpark. It's where St. Louis comes alive. It's where every pitch matters and every cheer feels like home. Season tickets put you right at the heart of it all. And now there's a new way to be all in. Introducing 20-game season ticket plans. Get all the season ticket benefits with more flexibility than ever. Don't miss your chance to own your piece of 2026. Learn more at cardinals.com/tickets.
Philo Exchange Bank is hosting their annual Santa Breakfast on Saturday, December 6th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's happening at the Frank Center in Philo. Bring a toy donation to help families in need as you brighten up their Christmas. Enjoy donuts, drinks, toy prizes from the candy cane tree, bingo, carnival games, and don't forget your picture with Santa. Merry Christmas from all of us at Stevie J Broadcasting and the Philo Exchange Bank.
Actually, I called a provider. It was just going to be a while before I could have service, and I couldn't wait, so I was recommended to Classic. Professionalism, their dependability, credibility, and the service technicians. I wouldn't ever call anybody else.
I truly believe that after people have experienced other companies and then given us a try, they can clearly see the difference.
Visit ClassicPlum.com.
Just like a great football coach, he comes up with a game plan. He plans on doing the right thing at the right time. Winter is a great time to make home improvements such as new siding, windows, gutters, garage doors, and even phantom screens. So don't get uptight, relax, and enjoy the game. Just don't drop the ball. Call Dillman Brothers and score big. 217-344-8290. You can also contact us by email on our website, DILLMANbrothers.com. Get your exterior in shape. No rookies, only pros at Dillman Brothers.
The Drive with Curtis Allen and Evan Stone on ESPN 93.5.
Oh, it is a loud war cry that we have become accustomed to in regards to the Chicago Bears, especially over the last 10 weeks somehow.
I'm here.
Nobody knew you were gone. It's ESPN Radio 93.5. It is The Drive. I'm Curtis Allen. That is a very winded Evan Stone, but he brought in something that smells like is that onion? What do you got? Onion rings over there?
No, I got a burger. Oh, I ran with it, though, and I spilled it.
You spilled the burger outside on the ground?
No, it looks like it's sloshed around here. No, we're good. Just a little burger and fry. I have not eaten yet today, so now's the time. Let's make it happen.
Well, with that in mind, my first question for our next guest will be, when was the last time he had lunch or anything to eat? He does a great job covering the Bears for Bear Report. Zach Pearson is on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line with us. Zach, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I had, I had oatmeal about 11 a.m., so I'm a little hungry as well. But I got to pick my kid up soon, so I'll eat with him.
There you go.
Oh, that's the best.
Well, enjoy whatever you have. You know, I hope it's maybe involves Portillo's. I got a hankering for some Portillo's, but that's a whole other side note, Zach. The Bears, are they for real? What is going on? How do they get good all of a sudden? Explain this to me, because as a fan, a longtime fan, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, Zach. What's going to happen next?
Yeah, the simple answer is Ben Johnson. Just a total change of the culture, a competent head coach, a guy who assembled a staff that pretty much knows what they're doing. That's been the biggest difference. 370 days ago, Matty Raffulis ruined Thanksgiving, and we were in the start of a coaching search. You fast forward now, and Black Friday was great. Now we head into a meaningful month of December. I mean, when's the last time we could say the Bears are playing, meaningful games in December, especially against Green Bay? So, I mean, the short answer is Ben Johnson. But I think they're for real. In terms of Super Bowl contender, I'd probably pump the brakes for another year. But I think they'll get to the playoffs, and they'll get that much-needed experience.
Well, we all know that coming down the stretch here, the Bears got a tough schedule. I mean, it's the NFL, so every game is tough for sure. But kicking off this weekend with traveling to Green Bay, and then ending with 4 out of your last 5 games, you got playoff teams. Or teams fighting for the playoffs. And so what do the Bears need to do down the stretch to keep this run going, to be successful? What do you, in your mind, is the most important thing for this Bears organization?
I think protecting home field is one of the biggest keys. You got 5 games left. I believe 3 are at home. You win those 3, you're probably going to be in the playoffs. I think that's going to be a factor. Defense, the run game, the weather's getting pretty nasty out here. All these games are going to be cold weather cities except, San Francisco. Defense and running the football travels well when you're on the road too. So I think, especially this week, getting pressure on Jordan Love, making sure he's doesn't have all day in the pocket to throw, and then offensively, they're going to run the football, but I need just a little bit more from Caleb Williams in the passing game. If they can turn that up a notch, I think this could be one of those dangerous teams, especially if they get a home playoff game coming up in January.
ESPN Radio 93.5. It is The Drive. I'm Curtis. That's Evan. Zach Pearson on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line. Zach covers the Bears for Bear Report, a part of 24/7 Sports. I want to ask you, Zach, about one player in particular that maybe around this time, certainly under Eberflus, people kept asking, where's Montez Sweat? He just got paid. What's happened to Montez Sweat? Why isn't he attacking the quarterback? Blah, blah, blah. Here we are a year later, and it seems like week to week you're seeing him ascend again. What is your sense of the play of Montez Sweat over, let's just say, the last month of this season?
Yeah, I mean, he's played a lot better. The sack numbers still aren't, what you want from what you're paying him. You kind of want that 12 to 15 per year if you can. But no, he's playing better. He's getting to the quarterback. And I think, last year with a lot of these guys, I don't want to say they quit or anything like that because they're professional athletes. I'm no place to judge them. But, it's easy to kind of take some plays off or, not be 100%. I think this year, they got something to play for, and they got a coach who's inspiring them. They have a defensive coordinator who's inspiring them. I think Dennis Allen's done a really good job with Montez Sweat and, a couple other key defenders. You just, with these games, these 5 games, I think if Montez can, keep pushing this and make a bigger impact, the Bears should be in good shape. But, it keeps going back. You need someone to step up and get to the quarterback without blitzing. And they do a good job getting to him with the blitz. But if you can get Montez Sweat to kind of go on a tear where he has a couple, a stretch of games where, 2 or 3 sacks there, you'll be in good shape.
Well, something that really helps with that is if he's got guys behind him who are able to make plays and fill the gaps behind him and add some of that pressure. What can you tell us about linebacker health heading into this weekend? Do we have anybody, or is it still DeMarco?
Yeah, so there'll be some good news. I believe Noah Sewell's on track to play. He was a full participant today at practice. TJ Edwards was limited, but I would guess he's going to try and at least play. I'd be a little surprised if he doesn't play on Sunday. From what I know, it was more getting the clearance with the hand issue. I believe he had surgery on it. He'll probably play with a club on his hand or some wrap, which is fine. But getting TJ and Noah back would be huge. You're still missing Tremaine Edmonds, who was on track for a career year. But behind them, DeMarco Jackson played really well in these past couple games here that the linebackers have been out. So the depth is pretty good, and it just, to me, it goes back to Dennis Allen getting these guys ready and getting second and third stringers, prepared to step in and start. Another key I'd look at with the linebackers, if Dennis Allen wants to go to more dime looks, he's got that option now because you have Kyler Gordon back. You have Jalen Johnson back. So you have a bunch of things you can do in that secondary, if you see your linebackers are struggling or if they get hurt again. But with the linebacker health, I think they're in good shape and on track to be to have at least 2 of those guys back.
ESPN Radio 93.5. It is The Drive. Zach Pearson on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line with us talking Bears-Packers this Sunday, the first of 2 games over a 3-week span in the holiday season for Bears and Packers. And I saw an interesting note on your Twitter feed, Zach, about an hour ago. Jordan Love has thrown 34 touchdowns and 2 picks, and Caleb Williams has 15 touchdowns and 2 picks in their careers in Week 11 or later. That is the best and second best, respectively, passing touchdown to interception ratio. That according to NFL Pro. My question is this. Can you see one of these guys blinking? Who's going to make the mistake and turn the ball over on Sunday?
Yeah, it's an interesting one because looking at it from the Jordan Love side, the Packers are, I think, the best team in not turning the ball over, the best offense in not turning the ball over this year. I think he's got 3 interceptions on the year. He notoriously plays well in the month of December, in early January. The Bears' defense, though, is the best at taking the football away. And last week, kind of said that about the Eagles, where the Eagles are good at not turning the ball over, and then the Bears get a couple takeaways to help them, win the game. So, yeah, the struggles with, takeaways for the Bears side, it'd probably be on Caleb Williams if he makes a couple mistakes. But he's been good at limiting those mistakes. So it kind of feels like one of those games where, both quarterbacks neither makes the key mistake. But if one does and it's in the fourth quarter, it could really shift this game. So we'll see what happens. Would it shock me if there's one total turnover in this game? No. Would it shock me if the Bears got a couple interceptions or a couple fumbles? No. I'd probably lean more towards the fumbles. I think, with Josh Jacobs and, Wilson, that's probably a better case there.
So this past weekend, I know the stats been around everywhere, but the Bears have 2 running backs who go over 100 yards for the first time since 1985. Did you see anything they did differently in the run game? Any stylistic changes, philosophy changes, or is this just a sense of the offensive line really gelling and what Ben Johnson has been trying to put into place really taking off? Is that something we can hang on to for the last 4 or 5 weeks of this season, is 2 running backs that are going to be able to get you 100 at any given time?
I think so. I mean, I didn't see anything on Friday that would make me think not, and I think it's a little bit of both to answer your question. Like, I think finally they got the right offensive line combination in there. If you remember, I want to say it was a bye week, Ben Johnson, right before the bye week, Ben Johnson was talking about the run game struggle, and we have to kind of get it going. And since then, it's really, taken off. And now you have Ozzie Trapillo at left tackle, who, I think Theo Bennett's a better run blocker, and Ozzie's probably the better pass blocker. But Ozzie did a good job in run blocking against the Eagles. That whole line, I mean, looking at some of those clips going back, there were some run lanes that, we can run through or maybe get a yard or 2 through.
Yeah, we could.
And they did such a good, and that's a good Eagles front, too. Jalen Carter was being moved around. Darnell Wright put him on the ground a couple of times. I think when they went into that game, they said, we're going to try and run the ball at them. We're going to run at Jalen Carter. They're going to have to stop us. Now, you have Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary as pass rushers, and what's the best way to limit them? Run the football, draws, outside runs. So it wouldn't surprise me to see that. I think the combination of Swift and the Nungai has been really good for the Bears. And, you kind of have a slasher and you kind of have a guy, Manungai, who does not go down easy. So as long as they can lean on that run game and if they run the football like this, they're going to be a really hard team to beat.
Zach, I want to ask you a couple more questions, and then we'll let you go. I don't want to take up too much of your time. But since you brought up the tackle position, it feels like this is, especially where he was taken in this draft, that it's Ozzie Trapillo's spot there at left tackle, maybe for the foreseeable future. Am I wrong, or what do you think about that?
I think right now, yes. You're going to have another 5 games to evaluate him. But if he is, if they look at this and he plays well, in these 5 games, you have some really good pass rushers and defensive front. The Packers are tied for 10th in sacks. The Lions are right there at 10th in sacks, and the Browns are second in the league with Myles Garrett. So he's going to be tested, and that's what you want too, because you'll have 5 games of this film, for the offseason, potentially more in the playoffs. And if they decide, hey, Ozzie is the guy at left tackle, it's a great story. He's a guy that, despite being drafted in the 2nd round, fell out of that left tackle race and was actually the backup right tackle, in training camp and going into the regular season. But if he is a guy, you erase a major need that you don't have to really spend draft capital on or spend a lot of money on. I think that's the key. And right now, the returns early are good, but it's still just, we've seen them at 2 games. I got to see it consistently the rest of the year.
When you kind of step back and you look at the big picture stuff, I mean, we live in such a week-to-week world when it comes to sports. What have you done for me lately? It feels like the opinion on Ryan Poles has turned a corner along with the success of Ben Johnson. What do you assess out of Ryan Poles right now? What are your thoughts on him and the job he's done? And we'll just say for this year in particular with this particular group of Bears.
Yeah, I mean, he deserved criticism going into the off season. There were some moves that are just kind of, you make you scratch your head a little bit. But now, rightfully so, they're winning and he's getting the praise. And looks like their draft class has been, a hit so far. You look like you got Colston Loveland, Ozzie Trapillo, Luther Burden, and Kamanungai as 4, big hits right there, which is great because of, a couple early picks and a 7th-round pick. Their free agent signings, Nashawn Wright has been fantastic, and he went out and got C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So I think Ryan Poles getting Ben Johnson in that building, getting a competent head coach in that building, and, winning these football games has really changed the narrative, and deservedly so. We'll see again. Like you said, it's a week-to-week, league, and for GMs, every offseason is important. Even if you're, 17-0 and win the Super Bowl or anything like that, you still have to nail the offseason. So right now he deserves it. I think he'll be in the talks for, executive of the year. But now he's got to build on this. You have an opportunity here where you can go for it now. Not a lot of people thought they'd be in this spot going into the season, and now you have a chance to go for it and build on this. And you just kind of have to trust him and trust Ben Johnson's influence. I'm curious to see how much of that influence Ben Johnson will have in the offseason, because we know he was an influence in the trade deadline and a little bit in the draft last year too.
I mean, yeah, that's good stuff. You talk about executive of the year based on some of the conversations people were having about Ryan Poles in the offseason.
Yeah.
And that is, I mean,
that's
it
a big
really
180.
is.
Yeah.
It's a what have you done for me lately? Like, we're in the moment people. People are now, starting to give Jerry Jones some nods of maybe he made some good moves as the Cowboys are turning around, but give it another week. So here's I really have two questions now. Who's your Bears MVP as it stands right now?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Okay, I won't pick Ben Johnson because he's the head coach. I think he's been the biggest factor. Honestly, I'm probably going to go with, I want to say Kevin Byard. I think it's him and Nashawn Wright are the two guys I would probably have 1 and 2. If I could group in the offensive line, the interior offensive line, they'd be up there as well. But when I look at Kevin Byard, I mean, another career year, a lot of interceptions. Nashawn Wright, same thing. Lead the league in interceptions, takeaways they got, fumbles. They've played really well, and I say Kevin Byard because you look, and since he's gotten here last season, I don't think he's missed a game. And if he has, I think it's been one, or I think he's missed one total practice since being here. He's been a staple back there. And then, Nashawn Wright is a guy that when the Bears got him, you're like, okay, if he has to play, you're in trouble. Well, he had to play, and he struggled early, but he stepped up and had a pick six against Minnesota, and has continued to get better and better. So I'd probably go with one of those two guys. I think they're both really good stories as well.
I think Nashawn was named Defensive Player of the Month today.
He was, yeah.
So, I mean, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, that's big-time stuff. So now you look at it, because every week, I mean, Curtis brought it up at the beginning here, every week you're watching this Bears team, and for a while there, I think everybody's opinion was like, oh, okay, that was a cool, fun, cute, weird win. But eventually something's going to come back to earth. And then maybe Baltimore week, you thought, yeah, okay, here we go. But then all they have done since then is continue to win. So now they come down to this important stretch. And I think 6.5 points is disrespectful up in Green Bay. But how are you feeling going into this weekend? What do you think the vibe is around the locker room? Obviously, I would have to assume they're pretty confident.
Yeah, they're confident. The one thing I like to say, and I've told people this before, and I've noticed this the past 6-7 weeks, they are not satisfied at all. Talking to these guys, they know, like, okay, yeah, we got a big win here, we got a big win there. They're not satisfied. They know they can go for it this year and, make a run. And I think this week, obviously, you know the rivalry with Green Bay. They don't really like to play into it too much into the media, and that's totally fine. But I feel like they're carrying themselves with some confidence, and they know, like, the job's not done. And I think even more outside of the locker room, the city is there's a different buzz when the Bears are good, and you can kind of start to feel that. And, the city of Chicago's been dying for the Bears to be good for a long time. So it's fun. You see a lot more people out in Bears stuff. You kind of get, you're out the store, you get a couple, go Bears, or just guys saying Bears, and like, okay, yeah, head nods, things like that. It's a fun time right now. But as for the team, I think they're very confident. I agree. I think 6.5 is a little disrespectful. I also think, going into the season, I thought they'd split these games, and I think that's going to be true. I think each one will get a home game or win their home game. But it'll be fun down the stretch here.
Well, okay, so really quick then, and this might be a dumb question. I don't really know. But do you think the success or the non-success of the Bears, whether it's this season, next season, does that have any play in all the Bears moving to Arlington Heights? Do you think if they have really successful seasons that there would be more of a pull to stay? Or do you think that's already a done deal? It's already figured out?
Man, I get the nostalgia around Soldier Field and all that. I think they're like 95, 96% gone going to Arlington Heights. See, but I'm also not like very good with state politics or anything. I think that's the biggest holdup right now.
Right.
Is that stuff going on? But yeah, I think they're gone. I think they should be gone because there's so much more you can do at Arlington Heights. You can own the stadium. You can host these events. Yeah, but what better way to usher in a new stadium than a really good team?
Let's go.
They got that going for them.
Let's
go. Yeah.
All right, Zach. Well, we appreciate your time, man. Enjoy the game on Sunday, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Anytime, guys. Thank you so much for having me on, and enjoy the rest of the day and the weekend.
All right. That is Zach Pearson from Bear Wire, part of 24/7 Sports. He does a great job covering the Bears. Make sure you follow him on the socials. We've got that up on our socials as well at The Drive 935. Last point that he made there, I mean, what a better way to usher in a new stadium than with a good team, and that'll sell tickets.
He did that on purpose, didn't he?
Yeah, maybe he did. He was smooth. Oh, the 6'7". 6'7". He wanted to see if we were going to jump into that. Yeah.
I almost did. I was like, oh, look, 217 texter did. 6'7".
Can I tell you this very quick before we catch a break? I did the 6'7" to my kids, I think, on Tuesday, and I was told immediately that it was not cool anymore.
Oh, well, that's because you just did it.
Because I did it, yeah. I'm sure they still do it like crazy at school or whatever, but because Dad did, I think they're just trying to. You're right. They're smarter than me, and they're trying to psych me out so I won't do it anymore.
My son came home and he said we've officially been banned from saying it in our classroom, and none of their math questions have anything to do with 6'7" right now. We're no longer doing any sort of 6'7".
Those numbers don't exist.
Equations.
They don't exist for another year at least. All right, we're going to catch a break. When we come back, coming up in about 20 minutes or so, we'll talk with Robert Rosenthal, get back into some Illini chatter. Plus, I've got a whole bag of curveballs I need to throw at Evan. That's next on The Drive.
Got a plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical, or sewer problem? Look no further than Fred's Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electric. Locally owned and trusted, Fred's team of professionals is ready to tackle projects both big and small. Why waste time and money on complicated DIY fixes? Fred's experienced team will get the job done right, saving you time, stress, and cash. And when it comes to sewer problems, make sure you call Fred's for a second opinion you can trust. At Fred's, they do it all. No project too big, no project too small. They do installation, repairs, replacement, and maintenance, and they now offer service agreements. For reliable service, professional expertise, and solutions that work, call Fred's Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electric today. 217-586-3863 or go to fredscu.com. You can always trust Fred's.
This holiday season, the Tree of Hope supports DSC with your $100 donation, lighting the tree at North Prospect in Market View and Champaign. The Andersons have shared their story about Cohen, who's had a therapist help him hold his head up and take first steps. Then productive play with toys and equipment, including siblings, to make it a fun family experience filled with love and laughter. DSC's Playgroup has helped the Tree of Hope family feel a sense of community. Step up and make an impact as DSC serves approximately 1,200 people with intellectual and developmental disabilities in Champaign and Ford counties to give people a more rich and meaningful life. This nonprofit organization has a long history of providing services with a person-centered approach. You can find out about employment, community day services, home-based support, or residential services on Developmental Service Center's website. To learn more, visit dsc-illinois.org.
Honey, can't wait for you to see your Christmas present this year. It's going to be great.
Well, hope it's better than last year.
The diamond necklace with the matching earrings?
Read the room, honey, and that room is our kitchen.
I'm listening.
Here, listen to Paul Reekin from Dick Van Dyke Appliance World.
Hello.
He's here?
It's Black November, and the sale prices at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World are perfect for the holiday season.
Paul, we need a kitchen.
GE Profile Kitchen Package deals are $720 off with rebate, plus a free 10-year protection plan.
Now that's a gift that keeps on giving.
For 10 years.
And I'll see it more than my diamond necklace.
Paul, how about a laundry pair?
Oh, honey, now you're talking.
Electrolux front-load laundry pairs with pedestals are starting at $1,300 off with rebate.
With these savings, I can still get that new set of golf matching diamond bracelet.
Oh.
Looks like my job here is done. Black November extended through December 6th.
Wow.
When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
Let your local farmer's insurance agent Michael Rumsey put his experience to work for you. Michael Rumsey proudly serves Champaign County families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call Michael Rumsey at 217-363-3030 to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's Michael Rumsey at 217-363-3030. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
The Drive with Curtis Allen and Evan Stone on ESPN 93.5.
You got to be getting calls. Get that guy from Illinois what he's done.
Well, two things. I couldn't be happier where I'm at, but I've been fortunate enough. I've signed my third contract now here at Illinois, and my second one, Josh presented me with something that I thought just made a lot of sense, and it just goes to the foreshadow that Josh has. And Josh presented me with, hey, would you think about doing this? So I signed a non-compete with every school in the Big Ten Conference, right? So I can't and wouldn't go, right? We didn't really publicize it, but it's just something that's out there. And then really the rest of college football, I have probably somewhere in the neighborhood of a $15 million buyout, right? Which just kind of takes you out of, because I didn't want to get here. I knew we were going to have success. I didn't want to have something derail me, right? Or derail us.
ESPN Radio 93.5, it is The Drive. That is Fighting Illini head coach Brett Bielema. Yesterday morning, ahead of National Signing Day, he talked with our very own Stevie J and Diane Ducey on the morning show, and I have said this more than once. I gave Stevie all sorts of kudos for asking the question, like, come on, man, we know you're getting offers. We know people are reaching out to you. Come on, man. And that was Coach Bielema's answer. He talked about the non-compete he has within the Big Ten and was honest about what his buyout was at right around $15 million if it was a school, say, in the SEC or anywhere else that would make him an offer. So that's a pretty big number, and we'll talk with Robert Rosenthal coming up in just a bit about that, Evan Stone, and all sorts of other Illini nuggets. But that really, really jumped out to me, that quote from yesterday.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's that time of year where, you got the carousels getting all up and running, and I really appreciate it. Another coach said it in his press conference. If your name's getting brought up, that means you're succeeding.
Yeah.
And
you're winning. Yeah.
I want my coach's name brought up as often as possible because that means we're stomping people into the ground.
Just don't leave.
Don't go. But once again, I'm going to say this time and time again. If someone does leave, I have all the faith in the world in Josh Whitman to replace that person. I'm not worried at all. When Bill Self leaves, you're like, oh, boy, I don't know what's going to happen. I believe Josh Whitman has such a sell.
He's done a fantastic job. He's done a great job. I was just happy that Bielema didn't say his buyout was $6 or $7 million. See what I did there? To the 6-7 conversation and how it's not cool for us as adults anymore, according to our kids. Chris in Tolono texted, it has not faded completely, but it is fading. Junior high students are not as interested. It's been around for nearly a year now. That's true. What has helped is teachers accepting it versus fighting it. The kids aren't interested if you do it with them. That's right. You take that rebellion. You take the rebellion away from them. Mm-hmm. That's how they fall in line.
Take the rebellion away from
them.
them.
Take that rebellion. Give them something else to rebel with instead of numbers, huh?
As soon as they're like 6'7", you're like 6'7", and they're like, frick. All right.
Never mind.
Whatever.
This guy ruined it.
Oh, it doesn't annoy you?
No.
Oh man.
I got 6 or 7
Curtis's
curveballs for you right now.
6 or 7. That's a lot.
Well, maybe not that many. 1, 2, 3. Maybe there are. Okay, let's find out together. Here we go. Time for some curveballs. Little break from Illini and Bears talk for a moment. Research indicates, sir, that having to deal with modern technology is keeping older brains more fit than previous generations.
That does not shock me at all.
That's right. So now, older folks just sit on the front porch and, they don't wave at people anymore. They just wave at the pictures of themselves for Instagram. Grams on the gram, baby.
Grams on the gram.
They got to be there somewhere.
Do you write the end of these yourself?
I ad-lib a lot of them. Or I go, well, that might be funny. Let's see if I can get Evan to laugh at this one. NASA says our Milky Way galaxy has at least 300 million habitable planets. But you know what? We got the most streaming channels. Take that, Mars.
Yeah. Suck it.
Mars.
Uranus.
My kids are upset. My son. With Uranus. He thinks that's the greatest thing in the world now. He's discovered that it has something to do with the butt. So anyways, he's 9.
I would have laughed.
Almost
I'm glad
9.
you changed how you're about to say that.
Thank you.
So.
Here's a wacky but true headline. Woman set home on fire after locking herself out. Check this is real. This is why she did it too. She's in Romania. She locked herself out of the house. She couldn't get in. So she intentionally set the rear awning of her home on fire and called 911 so they would let her back into her home. We were living in the dumbest time period. I always have one for you. Speaking of blazes, every year, 250 house fires begin with what, sir?
The Christmas tree.
You got it. Yeah, I had a feeling you would know that one.
Yeah.
And finally,
I got a story. We got to come back to that at some point.
We will. And finally, are you someone that gets bothered if somebody just texts you okay or yes, and that's all? Or do you do that?
No, I'll do it.
Do you do it? Okay, well, you need to stop it.
I don't care.
Okay, because according to a new study that was published in the New York Times, these words without an exclamation point or an accompanying emoji can come off as passive-aggressive, dismissive, or angry. In person, okay comes with a facial expression.
Yeah, 100% they're passive-aggressive.
Mm-hmm. So you're not disagreeing, you just do it.
No.
Well, then I don't need to read the rest of this. There's some other words in there. They say you shouldn't use sure. If you sure someone in a text without an exclamation point or an emoji, you're also being passive-aggressive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing worse is to put the ellipsis on the back end of it.
The ellipsis?
The okay, ...
Oh, I hate the dot.
Sure.
Oh,
dot.
Yeah, I didn't know ellipsis. I knew ...
I knew. That's what it's called, an ellipsis,
I know
right?
it's called the ellipsis, but I call it the ... And like if I get the ... I'm going to send you a text back like,
what did I do?
Why the ...
Why are you so upset?
Nothing. ... No, I'm not coming home to this.
No.
What is the ... Why am I getting ...
Yeah, it's pretty rough. They teach me, the college students I work with teach me this pretty often about how, apparently you're not supposed to use an exclamation mark. That means mad.
Mm-hmm.
It means excited to me.
I remember.
Yeah.
Do you remember email etiquette? Do you remember being taught any of that, like in junior high? Like right when,
vaguely.
I'm a little bit older than you, not much, but I'm a little bit older. So I remember being taught email etiquette in like 6th, 7th grade, and one of the first things was don't type in all caps. 6, 7, I did it. Sorry. Don't type in all caps because that makes you seem like you're screaming.
You're yelling at someone.
My dad, for his entire life, whether he was on a typewriter, a computer, whatever, he typed in all caps. You like to yell a lot too, but that was usually at me. But I'm just saying, it was one of those things like I can only imagine how many people thought he was rude because all of his emails were in all caps, and he always ended every sentence with 900 exclamation marks too.
Well, now what they have is you just type it into AI.
Mm-hmm. It does it for you.
You can say what you want to say. You're like, listen here, you little jerk.
Mm-hmm.
And it translates it to, I hope this finds you well. And it's just, as per my last email. Is basically what it says.
We've got 40 seconds to the top of the hour news, but real quick, you said you had a tree fire story. You were gonna share.
Yeah. So when I'm in college, in our dorm rooms, one of the guys brought in a Christmas tree in his dorm room. So a live Christmas tree.
A live one?
Oh, yeah, and he was taking care of it. Well, one of the other guys on the floor, one of our buddies, was sneaking in while he was at class and was relieving himself in the bottom of the Christmas tree. And after a couple of days, the Christmas tree turns, it's
dying.
It's browning.
Yeah,
it's getting dried out. It's browning. It's dying. And the buddy then said, hey, if you have brown needles on it, what you want to do is real quick with a lighter, you just want to and just get those, and it'll heal the tree like a burnout in the forest. And he's like, oh, okay. And he lit that sucker, and when I tell you the speed at which that thing went up.
It's like the Griswolds, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was kicked out of school.
We're going to talk with Robert Rosenthal.
He's gone.
We're talking to Robert Rosenthal. He's not kicked out of school. He's next on the drive.
It was tough because he had a hoodie on, he had a mask on, you couldn't see his eyes, you couldn't see his hands, you couldn't see his feet. He did have unique Nike shoes, which only 25,000 people apparently were issued, and FBI used a measuring tool where they were able to see that he was 5'7", they predicted, based on kind of spatial awareness with some other items in the picture, and it turns out that he's 5'6", so that seemed to work. But as far as the identification, they say they just had to go through old tips.
Fox's David Spun, 30-year-old Brian Cole Jr. of Woodbridge, Virginia, so far facing explosive-related charges. A closed-door briefing on Capitol Hill from the admiral who oversaw a September double strike on a suspected drug boat.
Senate Intelligence Committee Chairman Tom Cotton says after the first strike on the drug boat on September 2nd, he saw 2 survivors fighting to flip the boat and stay in the fight, as he put it, so he thinks the second strike killing them was justified.
And in subsequent strikes, there's an example where survivors actually were shipwrecked and distressed and not trying to continue on their mission. And they were treated, as they should be, as non-combatants.
The survivors in the October strike were picked up by U.S. forces. When told that House Intelligence Ranking Member Jim Himes found the strikes disturbing, Cotton replied,
"What's disturbing to me is that millions of Americans have died from drugs being run to America by these cartels."
He said he believes such strikes will continue.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. America is listening to Fox News.
This is the time of the year most of us are checking off our holiday gift list. Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on that list. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every single second and alerts you to the threats you could miss yourself. If your identity is stolen, your own U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to work to fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Make this season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% off your first year at LifeLock.com with the promo code BECK. Terms apply.
Picture this, you're on a date, and then bad breath happens. Confidence gone. Here's the truth. Most gums and mints are just bad breath Band-Aids, but not Zellman's Minty Mouth. The functional breath freshener you swallow. Tiny dual-action capsules with mint on the outside, parsley seed oil inside, clinically tested to fight the toughest offenders, even garlic and onions. It's only available online. Go to Zellmans.com, Zellmins, Zellmans.com, code FRESH for 15% off.
Weeks after the government shutdown ended, there's a renewed bipartisan push to address the issue at the center of that fight, Obamacare subsidies set to expire. A proposed framework could extend them.
We're calling for a vote by December 18th in both chambers of Congress to get something done before premiums rise in January.
New Jersey Democratic Congressman Josh Gottheimer says they could also keep working on longer-term reforms. Virginia Congresswoman Jen Kiggins knows that's what many of her fellow Republicans want.
The ACA is what is before us. I have 40,000 people in my district who rely on this health care, and doing nothing to prevent a spike in their premiums is wrong.
Some Republicans, though, pushing for bigger changes in the health care law, and not clear yet what would have enough support to clear legislative hurdles. At least 4 countries, including Spain and the Netherlands, are pulling out of next year's Eurovision Song Contest after organizers decided to allow Israel's continued participation. Visa applications for people planning trips to the U.S. for major sporting events will get speedier attention.
A directive to U.S. embassies and consulates around the
world puts a priority on visa applications from foreigners hoping to attend next summer's FIFA World Cup, the 2028 Olympics, or make investments in the U.S. President Trump says ticket sales for the international soccer tournament are already setting records.
I can report to you that we have sold more tickets than any country anywhere in the world at this stage of the game.
The Trump administration is also putting new rules in place on visa requirements for highly skilled workers that would deny entry to anyone deemed to have participated in the censorship of American citizens on social media.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The final draw for soccer's World Cup happens tomorrow at the Kennedy Center in Washington. A mixed finish on Wall Street, the Dow dropping 31 points. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
With the holiday season upon us, we at Gale Frericks Trucking would like to take time out to express our appreciation and heartfelt thanks to our drivers and support staff. We take pride in making family and safety the top priorities at GFT. This is Operations Manager Donna Onstadt, inviting all Class A CDL holders in Central Indiana and Illinois to join our family so you can provide for and spend more time with your family. We offer paid holidays and vacations, home time every weekend and holiday, the industry's top pay package, safety and operations bonuses, rider program, insurance, and more. Call 765-793-7131 or email timo@gftlog.com to join the GFT family and get pay and quality home time you can count on. 765-793-7131.
We're talking to John Reichert from A&R Mechanical. 100 years in our community. So many buildings in this town, like Memorial Stadium. Of course, the State Farm Center. Can you remember the reaction from the company getting that? Because that's a big one.
Oh, that was huge. If you just think about it a little bit, everything we put in is straight, pipe is straight. We're putting all that into a round building. And, it took a lot of know-how to make that project happen. It was one of the first projects we did using our new technologies. And the timing was just right. We were the right people for that project, and I think we did it successfully.
The legacy of A&R. John, I could almost say, what haven't you built? Up and down campus, the Siebel Center was fairly new for computer science.
Everybody was working as a team, and I think it came out very well.
A&R Mechanical has helped build Carl at the Fields expansion and other Carl projects in Provena and Sarah Bush Lincoln. The list goes on and on. Visit them at ar-mech.com.
Hey everybody, it's Jay Lehman, former Fighting Illini linebacker, All-American. When I moved back to town last year, I needed brand new appliances for my renovated kitchen and looked no further than Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Unprecedented products, unrivaled service. I love their protection plan, and so will you. Visit them at appliance-world.com or at their physical location on Neal Street by Interstate 74.
At the UPS Store, we have everything to help small business owners be unstoppable. So if you need mailbox services, we'll be the mailbox store.
What if my business isn't brick and mortar?
Easy. With our mailbox services, you'll get a real street address instead of a P.O. box.
What if I give you a big bear hug for making my day?
Then get in here, buddy.
The UPS Store can help small business owners be unstoppable with our mailbox services. We'll hold your mail and packages in a safe location. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. The UPS Store locations are independently owned. Product, services, pricing, and hours may vary. See Center for details.
Hi, this is Pam Moore with Philo Exchange Bank. Whether you want to do your banking online or you prefer face-to-face interaction with our friendly staff, Philo Exchange Bank delivers banking that helps you reach your personal or business goals. To us, you're not just another face, you're a part of our family. Visit us at any one of our locations in Philo, St. Joseph, Allerton, or Broadlands, and we'll be here to help.
Philo Exchange Bank, hometown community banking since 1883. Member FDIC.
Your next adventure starts right here. Fly Champaign-Urbana and skip the long drive to bigger airports. With American Airlines flights through Dallas and Chicago, you're connected to coastlines, cruises, and global escapes. With connections to over 200 destinations. From here, the world is within reach. Fly Champaign-Urbana, Willard Airport, because the best trips start closer to home.
The Drive with Curtis Allen and Evan Stone on ESPN 93.5.
You are having a great one today. Appreciate you spending some time with us. It's ESPN Radio 93.5. I'm Curtis. That is Evan. So a big day, Evan Stone, yesterday for Fighting Illini football, National Signing Day. We've talked a lot about that. 21st, best class in the country.
Kids coming to school, not getting kicked out of school.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. Now, I made a comment when we went into break that our next guest had never been kicked out of school, but you said that's not true.
I just remembered, all right.
You said that's not true.
Here on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line is the one, the only, Mr. Robert Rosenthal. Robert, have you ever been kicked out of school?
No, but I was on academic probation twice.
Oh,
so
2 times.
I was, I had to walk the plank to the end, but then came back off the plank without having to jump.
See, so he was on double secret probation. You were wrong.
Double secret probation.
You were wrong, sir.
I didn't know you could get on probation twice. I thought once you're on probation, you could get
I
it
didn't
again.
either, but I pulled it off. It was let's see, after my spring semester freshman year, I got, back then there's no internet, so I had to get a letter at my parents' house that was sent to me of like, you have to get X GPA or else you're gone next semester. So I buckled down and got that. And then I guess it was after first semester junior year, I pulled it off again. And then came back from the brink and somehow got that degree.
And look at you now.
Look at you now. ESPN Radio 93.5. It is The Drive on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line with us, our friend Robert Rosenthal, the publisher of IlliniBoard.com. So let's hop into yesterday, sir. How happy were you with this new recruitment class, the class of 2026 will be a part of Illinois football?
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly the best class that Bielema's had, and probably the best class, 15 years, something like that.
Yeah.
There were a few Ron Zook classes that were probably better than this one. The kind of famous 2008 class had 9 or 10 guys who played in the NFL eventually, so it's going to be hard to get to that point for one recruiting class, but it's certainly up there. It's fairly obvious that Citrus Bowl last year and then selling that last spring really kind of changed the category of player who would pick up the phone, and this is a class that's a step above.
We were talking in the first hour that it's awesome to see. Brett had mentioned in one of his press conferences that this is the most balanced class he's had. When you look at offense, defense, you look at all the different positions. I just love this early signing period here, getting everybody signed. And now you can go into transfer portal season kind of knowing exactly what you're looking for, what you need. And so as you look at all of this, what do you think the big need is coming January?
I think my answer might be a little different on this one. Because this staff looks so heavily into development areas, I mean, it's not that they're going to ignore the portal, and I think they may go heavier in the portal than they have in the last few years. But in terms of need, I feel like they feel good about some of the sophomores and juniors who are ready to step forward and they are going to maybe look more supplement than they are, hey, we need a starter. Let me give you an example. The offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
They obviously just went out and grabbed several JUCOs to fill needs there. They like doing it. I mean, that's where they found several of these other guys. That's where they found Isaiah Adams, who's with the Arizona Cardinals now and everything else. That's where they went out and got Zy Chrysler. That's how they've gotten other eventual starters. And so, my reaction to you asking that question is, this is a staff that still thinks. They don't think in the Cignetti way of, I'm just going to go grab 40 guys from the portal and build a new team, or even the Colorado way or anything else. They still think we need guys in there for several years for, lots of development. Yes, they need defensive linemen. Yes, they probably need a couple more offensive linemen. Yes, maybe even a tailback and maybe another linebacker probably. But it's still... I could see myself at spring practice saying, yep, they've got, somebody like Grant Bierman ahead of that linebacker they picked up from North Texas or wherever, because they just really like bringing along guys that they've had in the system for a while.
You said something that really jumped out to me there, Robert, and so I just want to ask you, when you compare the Cignetti way, as you called it, versus what Brett Bielema does here, what do you have a preference? Do you feel like, well, it would be nice to see this group, this particular program, spend X amount of dollars in the portal versus what they're doing currently?
Yeah, I mean, for starters, what Curt Cignetti's been able to do in Indiana has broken college football.
Absolutely.
Put that out there.
Yeah,
Every
agreed.
fan base thinks they can be 12-0 good next year.
Yep.
They just think, we just have the wrong coach, or we just didn't find the right player. It's a 1 in 100 chance of him doing what he did. They had 17 players on the first, second, or third All Big Ten team.
Yeah.
And he found most of those guys in the portal. It's quite possible his great skill is looking at some cornerback who's at Louisiana Lafayette and saying, get him here and we can turn him into a star. That might be his great skill. It might be, he's the guy at the roulette table who picked number 17 and then number 26 and then number 4 and all of them hit. And he thinks he's the most brilliant and it's really hard to replicate the next 20 times he goes gambling. So, we don't really know yet. He's done it 2 years in a row, so we got a pretty good idea. But, there is that risk in the portal to, I think of the Michigan State thing. The first year Mel Tucker went to Michigan State, he went out, it was the first year of the transfer portal. He found a whole bunch of guys, including tailback Kenneth Walker. They won, 9 or 10 games. Everybody's like, well, this is the new thing. Just go find people from the portal and plug them in and win. The next 3 years, 2.5 before he got fired, they went out, did the same thing, portal. We're going to find the guys, and they were terrible. And you just have to hit, and then you have to hit again, and then you have to hit again, and then you have to hit again.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I prefer development. I think in the long run, people will see that, the second year of transfers is much better than the first. And long-term works a little better than just hey, how about a new team each year? But it's fascinating seeing what Cignetti did.
I mean, it just feels so stressful of hitting the transfer portal every single year. And so looking at that and looking back at this year, I know I do want to come back to some of the recruits and signing day and all of that. But before we do that, just looking back at this season, 8-4, 8+ wins in back-to-back seasons, above 500 regular season record for the first time since the 90s, the early 90s. When you look back on this year, this senior class, this team, how do you feel? What are your thoughts? Are you still kind of waiting for the bowl game to put it into perspective, or where are you at?
I mean, as a fan, I am perfectly content with this team and this season. Part of that, obviously, is, I turned 53 later this month, and this is the 8th time in my lifetime an Illinois football team has won 8 or more regular season games. 8 times in 53 years. Woo. No sane fan could ever be like, well, really, if you think about it, it really wasn't disappointing. There's no way anybody I've made in an article earlier this season, I made a comparison of like it's the guy in some prison eating porridge for 20 years who's a year out of prison and saying, this lobster bisque is a little too salty for me. Like, come on. Like, you're now out of prison and eating lobster bisque. You don't get to complain about any food ever again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in that sense, perfectly. Obviously, the other side is you're number 12 preseason, and so everybody got the P word in their heads of playoffs.
Oh, thanks for clarifying that for us. Yeah.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I was having that thought as I was going. Yeah.
We're mature grown men here, Robert.
Yes. So we all had this playoff idea in our head, and we're like, whoa, is that really even possible here? And so in that sense, that's going to fall flat. But as I wrote this week, I think the thing that centers this whole season for me is, okay, just let's say Illinois had won at Washington and won at Wisconsin. And, for the month and a half, we've all talked about, like, man, the playoff was right there, and Illinois blew it with a terrible defensive performance at Washington and a terrible offensive performance at Wisconsin, and it was right there for the taking. Illinois blew it. If Illinois was 10-2 in the playoff rankings the other night, it would have been 14th or 15th. It would still be 3 or 4 slots out of the playoff. The way this season played out, Illinois would be Vanderbilt right now, of a 10-2 season, but there's just not enough spots, and you're not going to leap 10-2 Notre Dame, and you're not going to leap 10-2 Alabama, and you're not going to leap 10-2 Oklahoma, and so you would have been out of the playoff. So to me, that settles it back down to excellent season. 8-4 is nothing to shake a stick at. It was nice to dream for a while about the playoff, but it just didn't happen.
ESPN Radio 93.5. It is The Drive. I'm Curtis Allen. That is Evan Stone. Robert Rosenthal from IlliniBoard.com, the publisher of IlliniBoard.com, on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line with us. All right, so switching gears real quick into what this Illini team ended up being, 8-4, and then looking ahead to one final game, a bowl game. If you are Gabe Ackus, if you are Luke Altmaier, if you're J.C. Davis, are you playing in a bowl game for the Illini in a few weeks?
I differ from a lot of people on this opinion as well. I don't have a problem if all three of those guys opt out. It's playoff is one thing, bowls are another, and they're still beyond anything exhibition. And so, when Luke Altmaier was a freshman at Ole Miss, and he was redshirting and he wasn't playing, he was behind Matt Corral, and he gets injured. A month before the combine, Matt Corral gets injured in the bowl game at Ole Miss and I believe he missed the combine because of that injury. I'm sure that's going to be on Luke Altmaier's mind of, hey, played in one more game, and that injury probably cost him some position in the draft and some money and that type of thing. It's a very real thing, and I know a lot of people feel very strongly about this topic, but just like, the way I always frame it is these kids are up at 5:15 in the morning to go to film study or whatever workout is happening at 5:30, and at 10 p.m. when I'm sitting on the couch watching Netflix with my wife, they are just then getting to their homework because they've been doing football stuff all day.
Yeah.
So they owe me nothing, and if they want to skip out of the bowl game, I'm fine. If they need to make that decision for their lives, I'd be kind of excited to see who's next on the roster and see, if Luke opts out, what else? What are the quarterback options for next year? That type of thing. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, I'm honestly, we're in lockstep. I actually think I'm encouraging, and I think Brett might be in the same page in a sense of almost encouraging some of these guys not to play in the bowl, to go and protect themselves, get ready for combines and all of that. I also think it's a wonderful thing where you've got a lot of guys on this roster, on this team, who are, second stringers, third stringers that have put so much effort and work in during the season, but don't get any of the, they don't get any of the airtime. They don't get any of the conversations. And so as guys begin opting out for bowls, all of a sudden you let an Ethan Hampton, who's been there every single day, all season, get to run out on the field for the Illini, to get to play in a bowl game. I kind of love that as the perspective begins to shift. I love some of the unsung heroes day in and day out getting some airtime.
Yeah. If it was, you see it in college basketball. If a guy's ready for the draft, if he's in the NCAA tournament, he's not opting out, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Is in the NIT, sometimes maybe they do, because it's not the real playoff. I think it's the same thing for college football, but you're not going to see many opt-outs. Nobody's going to quit on their team, besides Lane Kiffin. Nobody's going to quit on their team.
Besides Lane Kiffin. You snuck that in there so smoothly, sir.
I did. But you're not going to see players quit on their team like that. If it's playoff. But if it's bowl, it's not really quitting on the team so much as that, hey, this is kind of an exhibition, and I think I'm going to protect this knee here and give it a little more time to rehab or whatever.
Okay, well, I mean, you brought up college basketball. Are you going to Nashville this weekend?
I am headed to Nashville, yes.
Let's go. How are you feeling going into this game? I know Tennessee is going to be angry. They just dropped a dumb game to Syracuse that doesn't even play zone anymore. So does that make you a little bit more nervous heading into this, or where are you at?
It does. I mean, I've been to so many of these that were losses. I went to the Tennessee game 2 years ago. That was a loss. I went to the Alabama game in Birmingham last year. That was a loss. We haven't fared well in this big non-conference early December game. And so, especially after the performance, or at least the shooting performance against UConn, I would hope to see you could tell Brad Underwood was ready for a week of his team. Our guy Tyler, who writes about basketball and went to the game, said you could just sense in the post-game press conference in New York City that he was like, I'm so ready to have a week with full team, nobody injured, ready to assemble what our rotations look like and what our everything looks like. And I got 8 days to do all this. And then we can finally put a product on the court that we know what the rotations are going to be. And so I think that's what we're going to see is okay, he's settled on who's getting minutes, who's first off the bench, and how this is all going to go after, a lot of scrambling because of injuries the first few weeks.
ESPN Radio 93.5, it is The Drive. Robert Rosenthal on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line with us. So, given that you just mentioned health, what was your first thoughts when Underwood on his show, I think that was Monday night, Tuesday night, said that Andrei Stojakovic had been playing with an injured ankle and hadn't practiced all week? And I mean, that was a bit of a shock to me as I stammer into that question. But that was a bit of a shock. I was like, oh, well, that might explain some of the performance we saw out of Andrei in the last game. What was your initial reaction to that, Robert?
Yeah, I mean, it's just excuse me, it's a what else is next kind of feeling toward all of this stuff. How can we just practice in the wave pool or something? Can we just do water aerobics, or I don't know, at some point, there was a game missing 4 players due to injury, and that's worse than the football team has been doing, and there's only 12 guys on the basketball team. It's reached kind of crazy levels. Same as the sickness from the basketball team last year of this guy has mono and that guy has the flu and this guy, it's when will it end? So I'm very, very, very much hoping that they're going to reach a balance with these injuries of, okay, we're going to be really safe with some of these guys in practice because maybe they're going too hard and turning ankles and rolling knees and whatever, because it has been out of control injuries.
Yeah, I think we just go the Little Giants route and just wrap them in foam, pop the bubbles out of their
Little
nose.
Giants. Right,
And just just let them go from there. So, Robert, safe travels down to Nashville. It's always a good time talking to you. You know what? I salute you for sitting in the stands last Saturday against Northwestern as I cozied my way up next to your empty seat in the press box. And I think you're a real human, real great guy.
Well, I appreciate that. And if you hear this cough I have, maybe it wasn't the smartest idea.
Who's the president that died because of pneumonia? Wouldn't wear a jacket.
That's right. Yeah, because he wanted to walk along the Pennsylvania Avenue. Yep.
Yeah, that's you. A game against Northwestern, and he's like, I will die.
He's a man of the
for
people.
This game.
But what a way to go out.
What a way to go. Robert, really appreciate you. You're the goods. We'll be in touch, and we'll talk soon.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yep.
All right, that is Robert Rosenthal, our guy. Appreciate his time as always. We got to take a break right now because we're a hair behind. But when we come back, we're going to talk with Ben McKee. Yeah, I know.
Ben, wait for us. We're coming back.
Ben McKee, who covers Tennessee and covers the Vols for 24/7 Sports, and we'll get the Tennessee perspective on what is it now? The Music City Clash
Madness. MCM, sponsored by Charity Water.
The Hell in a Cell Royal Rumble that is this Saturday.
I hope not. We're hurt.
But that's how the good guys always win in those sort of Royal Rumble, Hell in a Cell matches, you know?
That's right.
They come in injured and they walk out champions. We'll talk with Ben McKee next on The Drive.
I'm living under a cloud. I don't get out of bed. It started with my washing machine breaking down. I called a one guy in a truck repair service. Took them a week to show up. My condition worsened when the repairman ordered the wrong part. Things got really bad. Had to go to the laundromat. I knew I hit rock bottom. Then I found Dick Van Dyke Appliance World.
I'm Paul Reekin with Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We have repair service clinically proven to be the fastest and most affordable in Champaign-Urbana. Side effects only come from not calling Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. These effects include personal frustration from failing to get laundry done, irritable spouse syndrome, and stinky athlete kids that can be noticed from across the house.
Thanks to Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, my cloudy days at the laundromat are over.
Let's say you decide not to repair the appliance.
Like the repair is worse than I thought?
If you decline the repair, you get $50 off a new appliance purchase.
Dick Van Dyke has me winning either way. I'm experiencing no side effects now, Paul. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
This holiday season, the Tree of Hope supports DSC with your $100 donation, lighting the tree at North Prospect and Market View in Champaign. The Andersons have shared their story about Cohen, who's had a therapist help him hold his head up and take first steps. Then productive play with toys and equipment, including siblings, to make it a fun family experience filled with love and laughter. DSC's Playgroup has helped the Tree of Hope family feel a sense of community. Step up and make an impact as DSC serves approximately 1,200 people with intellectual and developmental disabilities in Champaign and Ford counties to give people a more rich and meaningful life. This nonprofit organization has a long history of providing services with a person-centered approach. You can find out about employment, community day services, home-based support, or residential services on Developmental Service Center's website. To learn more, visit dsc-illinois.org.
Are you tired of shivering in the winter? Look no further than your local heroes at ABC Heating and Air Conditioning. Hi, this is Gina inviting you to give us a call at 217-352-5400 to book your appointment to make sure your furnaces run safely and efficiently this winter. We've been proudly locally owned and operated and have been serving our community for over 50 years. ABC, always be comfortable. Call me 217-352-5400 to book your appointment today or go to abcheatingandac.com.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow right here in Champaign-Urbana can switch you over so you can start saving today. Kurt and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. It's easy to switch and save. Just give them a call when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The Drive with Curtis Allen and Evan Stone on ESPN 93.5.
Our thanks to Mr. Robert Rosenthal for joining us just a moment ago on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line. It is The Drive, ESPN Radio 93.5. The hits just keep on coming, Evan Stone.
Yeah.
They keep on coming. I'm Curtis Allen, and our next guest, Ben McKee, who does a fantastic job covering Tennessee Vols athletic for Go Vols 247. That's part of the 24/7 Sports Network. And he is on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line with us. Ben, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Hope y'all are as well. Appreciate y'all having me on.
Ooh, great. Wow, I like that.
See, usually people are like, we're good.
Yeah, we're doing
Talking
all right.
to you losers. I suppose it's all right.
But
So
Ben's
Ben,
great. My
I'm
gosh.
glad to hear you're doing great, Ben. It's an exciting time for college basketball. We are in the early part of the year. The holidays are here. It's just that fresh basketball feeling. You're getting into the non-conference games. And how are you feeling about the Vols?
Let's not fluff this.
What?
Let's not fluff this.
What
What happened against Syracuse?
I was trying to do a nice.
Well, no. What happened? They don't even play zone anymore. What's going on?
Well, they did not play well, obviously. One of the worst games they have played, not only this season, obviously a small sample size at this point in the year in terms of how many games have been played, but one of the worst games they played even going back to last year. I think the big thing was they did not get good performances from Nate Ament or Jacoby Gillespie, and Tennessee is going to go as those guys go. Nate Ament being the big 5-star freshman, and then Jacoby Gillespie at point guard being their big transfer this past offseason from Maryland. Those guys just did not play well. For Nate, it was an overall bad game. Did not shoot it well, had 7 turnovers. Jacoby Gillespie actually cut down on his turnovers as he learns Rick Barnes' system, but did not have a super efficient scoring night. He was just okay, and Tennessee can't have him just be okay. Tennessee needs him to be a key cog every single night. So you start there, not to make an excuse, but I do think playing 3 games in Vegas in 3 days last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they did have 5 days off, but that travel from the West Coast, you played a physical game against Houston and Kansas, and then you have to travel to upstate New York and freezing cold and snowing up there. So, again, not at all trying to make an excuse. But I think when you look at some of the air balls like Jacoby Gillespie had, which was uncharacteristic for him, and some of maybe it being in a football stadium and the lie being a little weird, I think contributed as well. And they, outside of Jalen Carey, just quite frankly, nobody showed up, I think is the simplest way to put it.
ESPN Radio 93.5, it is The Drive. Ben McKee on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line. Ben, having said all that, when you look at the performance of Jacoby and the rest of the Vols the other night, it's a short turnaround overall to Saturday in the game in Nashville with the Illini. What's the motivation going to be like for Tennessee going into this game?
Well, I think the motivation is to correct their wrongs and play better basketball. I mean, if you're not motivated after blowing, I believe it was a 9-point second-half lead to Kansas, maybe a 12-point second-half lead to Kansas. They blew a lead. It's as simple as that, and Kansas is shorthanded and dealing with injuries, and that's a game that Tennessee let get away from it because it started to struggle offensively down the stretch in the second half, and as Rick Barnes put it, that they allowed the offensive struggles to affect their defense, and then you turn around and you go to Syracuse, and I don't think Syracuse is a bad team, but it's certainly a team that Tennessee should beat, home or away. Yeah. Tennessee is a better basketball team, and they just have not played well the last 3 halves of basketball. They played well in the first half against Kansas after coming off of that win over Houston the day before, but they just haven't played great basketball. They particularly have not played up to their standard that Rick Barnes has established. So if you're not motivated to kind of right those wrongs, especially with SEC play right around the corner, it's a big game. I imagine there's going to be a good crowd inside Bridgestone Arena against a great opponent, a physical opponent, as they are well aware of after last season's game at Illinois. If you can't get up for that, kind of in defending your home state to a certain extent, then I don't know what can.
Yeah, you're not. It's not an excuse. You're not joking. Shooting a basketball in the Carrier Dome is, I mean, that's got to be wild.
Different
out there in
world.
Chicago. Oh my gosh, it's
Different
so
world,
wide
yeah.
open. I don't know why they play basketball there. But anyways, that's incredibly frustrating. As we look at Tennessee, especially in years past, you think of a hard-nosed defensive team, great athleticism, exciting play. Does this team have an identity yet this year? And if so, what is it? Or are they still trying to find one?
Well, real quick on the sight lines, Jacoby Gillespie is one of the best three-point shooters in the country, or at least was last year at Maryland, and he airballed 2 threes. Wasn't even close on his misses to point out the oddity of having to play in that football stadium. I think they're still trying to establish their identity. It should be one that's a physical basketball team, and although I think they're still trying to establish it, I do think they're maybe starting to round into it, if that makes sense, just because I really like their front court. They don't have one guy that is just an all-around great big in terms of on both sides of the floor. Like, they have great offensive bigs in Jalen Carey, which you saw at Syracuse. They have J.P. Estrella, who has not been able to stay healthy. He may be their most skilled big man offensively. Dwayne Brown's a freshman who's further ahead than anybody anticipated. And then you have 2 great defensive big men in Felix Okpara, who you all are aware of, I'm sure, and then Cade Phillips as well. 2 great rim protectors. But if they're a great offensive big, then they kind of struggle on the other end. If they're a great defensive big, then they struggle on the offensive end. So they don't have that one great all-around big. But as a front court as a whole, they check off all the boxes of being able to protect the rim, being able to rebound offensively, defensively, being able to give it to a guy on the block and him go get you a bucket, being able to shoot from the perimeter. They check off all your boxes as a group. And I think as the season wears on, Jacoby Gillespie, Nate Ament's going to steal the headlines. But I think that Tennessee's really going to be able to punish teams inside in the post. And I think that's what's been frustrating the last 2 games, especially against Syracuse. You had Jalen Carey show up, and Dwayne Brown, the freshman, to a certain extent. They had to go to the Carey-Brown pairing because Cade Phillips and Felix Okpara struggled against Syracuse. It was probably Felix's worst game as of all. I mean, he just did not do anything well. Cade Phillips had 0 points and 1 rebound in 12 minutes. So they are going to be okay long term. They're still trying to figure out, I think, how to play off of one another. But I think it's a front court that I really, really like because they check off all those boxes I mentioned, and I think they're really going to be able to punish teams as they start to find a rhythm.
ESPN Radio 93.5. It is The Drive. I'm Curtis. That's Evan. Ben McKee, who covers Tennessee Vols athletics for Go Vols 24/7, a part of the 24/7 Sports Network, is on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line with us. You mentioned the size in the low post, and the Vols are certainly one of the few teams that match up size-wise with the Illini. What have you made of the Balkan Five and this, what some people have called an experiment with Brad Underwood's recruitment of the Balkans and the guys that are going to be representing the low post for the Illini on Saturday?
Yeah, I like what Brad Underwood is doing and going out and getting a bunch of Europeans to kind of round out his roster. I mean, the Europeans are more well-rounded, I guess, is the right way to say it. Tennessee's had their fair share, and not just Europeans, but international players is probably the better way to say it, with guys like Santiago Vescovi, Igor Milicic last year, Uros Plavšić. They have had their fair share, and they have their fair share on this year's roster as well. Just their guys, Ethan Berg from Israel and Clarence Masamba from France. Felix Okpara is from Nigeria. But the 2 other guys, they're just not really ready to contribute just yet. But they do come over to America and are more advanced. So I like what Brad Underwood is doing. I know that's been a big topic of conversation. And I'm fascinated to see how Tennessee's front court that I just went on and on about handles Illinois. Because I'm curious with Jalen Carey. I don't know if you all have seen him play this year, but he's an absolute bully in the paint. I mean, it's all strength and brute force, but he lacks length and size vertically. So with the Ivacek brothers, like how is he able to handle that? Does their length give him issues, or does his strength give them issues? I think this is a game where Cade Phillips and Felix Takpara, who I mentioned struggled at Syracuse, their length has to be a factor to offset the length of Illinois. So it's a fascinating matchup down in the paint on Saturday night, I think, and curious to see kind of which one wins out because, as I mentioned, it's been Jalen carrying, no pun intended, the Tennessee front court the last couple of halves of basketball. But I think if you're a Tennessee fan, you have to worry about the length of Illinois giving him issues.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. And I am here in just a second. I'm going to ask which way you think this game goes. But real quick, just to switch directions for a minute, there's a lot of projections out there of Illinois, Tennessee meeting in a bowl game on the football side,
there you go.
out on the gridiron. Where do you expect Tennessee? It looks like they had a great signing day yesterday. Where do you expect them to land bowl-wise?
The two most talked about ones are the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville and the Music City Bowl in Nashville. Which one was projected with Illinois?
It would be the Music City Bowl in Nashville.
Okay. Yep. That one, which if Tennessee isn't having a great season, they're kind of always penciled in to the Music City Bowl because the Music City Bowl
wait a second.
I know. They'd love to have the Vols just because they know Tennessee fans. It's easy for them to show up.
Yep.
Because it's in state, in Nashville. Not the Belk Bowl, but the Mayo Bowl over in Charlotte's been kind of talked about as well. I'm sure Josh Heupel is just praying that they don't end up in Charlotte so he can potentially avoid the Mayo bath. But those are the two that I've heard most talked about. I think maybe Tennessee would like to get down to Florida because of the time of year and the weather. But I also kind of think that, they're disappointed they didn't make the playoffs. So the focus is more on getting the roster shaped up for next year, potentially making some changes on staff or just making the necessary tweaks to be more in line for a playoff spot next year and not a whole lot of focus on the bowl game, quite frankly. I'm sure it'll change. The mood will change as game week rolls around. But that would be a fun matchup. Brett Bielema being a former SEC guy and then Luke Altmaier's name being floated around after the Nico saga back in the spring.
That's right. Okay, so real quick, two things. Just personally, just flowing through your X a little bit, just want to let you know I'm praying for you. You doing all right? I see your pinned tweet here that you got a scary diagnosis before the football season started. How's that going? You doing okay?
I am. I'm actually doing really well. I appreciate you saying that. I actually need to take down that pinned tweet because we are not at the start of football season anymore. It's been a hectic couple of weeks covering Tennessee with old Tony Vitello leaving for the major leagues and then the end of football season and the start of basketball season. So it's been a fun couple of months. But I'm doing really well. I actually found out before Thanksgiving I'm in remission. So
let's go!
I'm blessed. And, yes, I appreciate you bringing that up, and I need to – I actually haven't even put that out yet. So my close friends and family know. But
we got a breaking scoop?
That pinned tweet. Yeah, it's a scoop if you want to claim it as one.
Heard it here
that's
first.
Right, so.
All right.
I appreciate you asking.
Now, don't ruin the mood now, but who do you think wins on Saturday?
Oh, you're really putting me on the spot. I honestly don't know. That is my gut feel. I don't know who's going to win because I don't know which Tennessee team's going to show up. If it's the Tennessee team that showed up against Houston, I think Tennessee wins, especially with it kind of being a home game. How do you think Illinois fans are going to travel? Is this one that they're excited about?
Oh, yeah. I think here's what's fascinating to me. I do think it could be maybe a 60-40 Tennessee. I don't think it's going to be as much of a home court as maybe it typically is for Tennessee because Illinois basketball fans are pretty hungry. I think whatever team decides to show up after a couple of disappointing performances, like who's going to be able to decidedly determine the attitude, the identity, the flow of this game. Whoever does that best in probably the first 7 to 10 minutes of the game, I think you're going to learn a lot right there.
I agree. I totally agree. And Tennessee basketball's fan base is underrated. They show up, but it takes them a while into the season because of what football means. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, Rick Barnes is a victim of his own success to where Tennessee fans have reached the point to where they know they're going to have success in the regular season, and they're kind of sitting around and waiting to see what happens in March, especially with the Rick Barnes history of his own, and then Tennessee's never been to a Final Four. And so, like, Tennessee fans are hungry, but they're hungry for that first Final Four. And they're just kind of, they know they're going to be good in the regular season. Let's see how good they are in March. So I don't know what the turnout will be from Tennessee's side on Saturday. I don't think it'll be bad or anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's 50-50 if you say Illinois fans are excited and hungry, or maybe 55-45, 60-40, whatever it may be, like you mentioned. I'll take Illinois in a close one. I did see Kim Palm actually has Tennessee winning like by 2 or 3. I think it was like a 74-72 prediction in the Vols' favor. I don't trust Tennessee from a turnover standpoint. That's been a big issue for them of late. I think Nate Ament, Jacoby Gillespie, they're going to be perfectly fine by the time the middle of the SEC play rolls around and March Madness rolls around. But they're still learning. Nate Ament was a 4 in high school, and now he's just solely a perimeter player. Jacoby Gillespie's always been more of a off-the-ball guard, and now he's playing point guard, and not only playing point guard, but playing for Rick Barnes. So those guys are still learning on the fly. Now, if they come out and they play well, then I think Tennessee absolutely wins, because I think their success correlates to Tennessee's success. But I think Tennessee's still kind of going through some things and learning on the fly here, and Illinois is a tough matchup to while you are learning on the fly. So, I mean, flip a coin. Whoever shows up and executes better is going to win this basketball game, as you mentioned. But making a pick, I think Illinois probably wins a close one, just because I think Tennessee is kind of going through some growing pains right now.
Okay, well, we don't even have to go. Ben just said Illinois wins. Just go ahead and put it in the record books, and we'll go from there.
Ben, where can everybody find you on the socials?
Yeah, they can find me at Ben McKee 14 for all of my personal stuff, and if they just want to keep up with the Vols leading into Saturday, or maybe a potential bowl matchup, they can follow our staff account at GoVols247.
All right, Ben. Thank you for sharing with us your good news, and hope you enjoy the game on Saturday. Hope we get to talk again very, very soon, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, appreciate you asking how I'm doing, and appreciate y'all having me on, and hope y'all have a great weekend.
All right. That is Ben McKee from Go Vols 24/7 on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line. That was, first of all, kudos to you for asking that question, man. What a positive. See, we're not an angry fan base here in Champaign. We're a caring, loving one. You know, it's all in friendly competition, and it being serious, that's all pretty cool for him to share with us that he's in remission.
Yeah,
so that's awesome, man.
All friendly. Screw the Vols.
I knew you were going to do that. I knew you were going to do that.
Yeah, no.
That was really, really great stuff from Ben, and I know we're up against it.
Yeah, big time.
So we got to take a break, but we come back. Get your money ready. Get your money ready.
Do we have time for that?
Yeah, we got time for it, unless you didn't plan anything.
No, here's what I'm
your
actually,
segment.
I'm gonna do something different this week.
What? You're gonna have me do the bets? Here, let me flip this around on you.
Nope. I'll let you know when we come back.
All right, Etched in Stone is next on the drive.
The fastest lawnmowers, Dixie Chopper dedicated diesel, might have a couple left, not many.
There's not very many. They're going for awesome prices. If somebody wants to make an offer on one, we're more than happy to entertain it, and if it's in the ballpark, we'll get it worked out.
Wow, that's amazing. I know somebody heard us talking and went in last week or two and was excited because of the deal he got.
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago, and then they picked it up, I believe, last week, and everything is good. Andy, it was a little bit dirty. It was actually one of the low-hour trades that we had, and Andy would not let that thing go out dirty, so he made them wait a couple of days so he could get it cleaned up and washed up good. So.
Well, somebody got a deal. I know that. There are deals to be had at Dedicated Diesel, Dixie Chopper. How would they reach you on the driving side, and anything about the Dixie Chopper? They call Andy, I think.
Yep, they can call Andy at 217-328-0562.
Have a good one. Tim Onstadt.
Tim Onstadt, Gale Ferrick Trucking, and Dedicated Diesel. There's something special about Monocle's Pizza. Maybe it's the friendly faces that greet you like family, or the thin, crispy crust that's been a hometown favorite since 1959. Whether you're craving classic thin crust, hearty pan, gluten-free, or our one-of-a-kind point pizza, every bite feels like coming home. So grab your family, your friends, or just your appetite and make tonight a Monocle's night. Monocle's Pizza, people-pleasing people since 1959.
Experience the music and magic this holiday season of Champaign-Urbana Ballet's The Nutcracker, December 4th through the 7th. Presented in partnership with Krannert Center for the Performing Arts, Area-Wide Technologies, the Bill Bass Foundation, Stone Ridge Dairy, Two Men and a Truck, and Champaign Ballet Academy. Tickets at the Krannert Center box office or cuballet.com. A delightful tradition for the entire family. Champaign-Urbana Ballet's The Nutcracker.
Why visit Freedom Roofing for your roof repair or replacement? Just listen to what satisfied customers are saying.
Freedom Roofing was quick to respond, reasonably priced, and their quality was excellent.
They found an immediate issue, patched it on the spot, and later replaced our entire roof. We couldn't be happier.
For local, trusted roofing done right, visit freedomchampaign.com or call 217-393-6000 today.
Philo Exchange Bank is hosting their annual Santa Breakfast on Saturday, December 6th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's happening at the Frank Center in Philo. Bring a toy donation to help families in need as you brighten up their Christmas. Enjoy donuts, drinks, toy prizes from the candy cane tree, bingo, carnival games, and don't forget your picture with Santa. Merry Christmas from all of us at Stevie J Broadcasting and the Philo Exchange Bank.
Christie Clinic has been helping patients win the fight against cancer for almost 90 years. The Charles W. Christie Cancer Center brings together a multidisciplinary team of providers who recommend and provide treatment options. Their team works together to fight cancer while helping reduce the side effects of treatment and maintain your well-being. A team built to act, a team ready to bring hope when you need it most. Learn more at cancer.christieclinic.com.
Christie Clinic, focused on creating a healthier you.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is ready to help you combine home and auto and save right here in Champaign-Urbana. Call 352-1411 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
Pia's is the place for Illini fans. And with basketball season underway, remember to meet friends with their orange and blue on at Pia's, 1609 West Springfield Avenue near Madison, Champaign. Enjoy terrific slugger burgers and wings and great drink specials before riding the Illini shuttle to the game as you leave a half hour before tip-off and are picked up in the Circle Drive within 10 minutes of the final buzzer. That way you'll get back to Pia's and be able to celebrate the win. Pia's Sports Bar and Grill. Saying go Illini.
The Drive with Curtis Allen and Evan Stone on ESPN 93.5.
Oh, we need some money. We need it. ESPN Radio 93.5. It is The Drive. I'm Curtis. That is Evan. Closing up to the top of the hour here on The Drive. And we got to get that money, Evan Stone.
Yeah.
Time for Etched in Stone, baby.
So here's what we're going to do. It is championship weekend, baby.
Yeah, it is.
Conference championship games all across the world.
All across the world.
Yeah.
Right
probably.
now, there's a football game between Germany and Thailand.
I'm taking Germany in that game.
An American football game, by the way.
I was about to say, which
University of Germany versus the University of
So
Thailand.
here's what we're going to do is we're going to roll through, and we'll put these on the socials. We're not doing 4 games.
No.
We're not doing 5 games.
No.
We're not doing a bonus game. We're going to pick every single conference game right now.
Oh, my gosh. How many are there?
There are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games.
Okay.
Here we go.
9 games.
Don't
my gosh.
Don't even worry about don't even worry about etching it in stone. We're just rolling, baby.
All right, we're just rolling, baby.
Rolling. Your first game, these are Friday night, December 5th. You got Troy against the 25th ranked James Madison. James Madison is 11-1 this year. They're looking at maybe an outside shot at a playoff appearance still. Right now, James Madison is favored by 23.5 points. I don't think it's enough. Give me James Madison to cover the 23.5. They're going to put the boot to Troy, hoping they still have an outside shot at the playoff. Game 2, we've got Kenneth. Oh,
you didn't even say etched in stone.
Oh, I thought we were just doing rolling through.
We're just going. Okay, yeah, sorry.
We're just going to go. We don't got time. They're playing the music. It's like the Grammys. All right?
I'm still going to play with the sound effects.
Okay, we've got the Conference USA Championship, Kennesaw State versus Jacksonville State. or as they're better known, Jacks State. Right now, Kennesaw State is a minus 2.5 point favorite. I don't like it. I don't like the Owls.
Nope.
This ain't NCAA 2026 where you're taking them to the national championship. They still suck. Give me Jacksonville State plus 2.5, etched in stone. Next game. This is a fun one. The American Championship.
Oh, what you gonna do?
I love the American Championship. We've got the 24th ranked North Texas Green Eagles? Something Eagles. Against the 20th ranked Tulane Wave
Green
runners.
Wave. Green Wave. Come on, shout out to Matt
North
Toon.
Texas is 11-1. Tulane is 10-2. North Texas wins this game. I think they go to the playoff. Right now, North Texas is sitting as a 2.5 point favorite. I love Mestemacher, their quarterback, and I think they take it. I think they run. They cover the 2.5. Give me North Texas minus 2.5. Also, that's who I play with on NCAA 26, and we have won 4 national championships. So they keep it running. North Texas minus 2.5. Mountain West.